Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time.
So today we're tackling a really big one, Riane Eisler's The Chalice and the Blade. This book puts forward a pretty radical idea, that for thousands of years, our societies have been shaped by a fundamental choice between two totally different ways of organizing ourselves. One is based on partnership, and the other is based on domination. And, as Eisler argues, understanding that choice is absolutely key to making sense of our past, our present, and maybe even our future.
So Eisler's big idea is this. Human history isn't just random chaos. She argues that underneath it all, societies are really built on one of two fundamental blueprints.
Okay, so what are these two models? Well, Eisler basically boils down all of human history into two core designs. You've got the partnership model, which is all about linking up, about cooperation. You could almost picture it like a circle, right? And then you have the dominator model, and that one's all about ranking, about control. It's a pyramid. And the wild thing is how this one choice, circle or pyramid, ends up defining everything from our most personal relationships to our global politics.
Now, this is where it gets really mind-bending. The book's biggest, most startling claim is that the world we live in right now, with all its conflict and rigid hierarchies, that's not how we started, not even close. In fact, Eisler makes the case that it's actually a pretty recent invention, a violent, 5,000-year-long detour from humanity's original partnership path. Okay, so how do these two models actually play out in the real world? To really get it, Eisler gives us this fantastic metaphor. She asks us to think about society like it's a building, designed from a specific architectural blueprint.
So, you gotta ask, what are the core principles holding our own societies together? What's the foundation? Is it built on trust, or is it built on fear? All right, let's stick with that building metaphor. The partnership model? It's like a structure built with these shared, horizontal, load-bearing beams. Everyone's connected, everyone helps hold the thing up. Authority is spread out, and the whole system is held together by care, by cooperation. But the dominator model, well, that's a totally different design. It's built on these huge vertical columns. All the power, all the authority is concentrated right at the very top. And what holds it all together isn't trust. It's the constant threat of force from above. And here's the really crucial part. That underlying blueprint, it doesn't just stay in the basement. It ends up shaping everything built on top of it. We're talking about our laws, our economies, even our most personal beliefs.
So you might be wondering, how does a dominator system actually take root? Well, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a systematic takeover of a society's whole operating system. First, you reshape the institutions. You rewrite the laws, the religious texts, the family structure, so it all fits this new hierarchical model. Next, you normalize coercion. You change the stories, the myths, to glorify conquest and make obedience seem like a virtue. In the final step, you just rewrite history. You erase any memory of that partnership alternative, or you dismiss it as just some utopian fantasy.
Eisler has a name for this whole process. She calls it changing a society's replicative code. It's like changing its cultural DNA. As she puts it, this new code has to be imprinted in the mind of every single man, woman, and child. So we're not just talking about changing a few leaders. This is about fundamentally rewiring how people see reality itself. It's a total system override.
And that right there, that brings us to the core challenge this book throws down for all of us today. It's what Eisler calls a crisis in perception.
This might be the most important takeaway from the whole book. All the things we struggle with, the violence, the inequality, the authoritarianism, they aren't just baked into human nature. They are not our destiny. They're the direct result of a specific design choice, a path we took thousands of years ago.
And that is the crisis in perception. We've been living inside this dominator structure for so long that we don't even see the walls anymore. It's just reality. So we end up fighting the symptoms, right? War, poverty, injustice. But we never stop to question the faulty blueprint that's causing all these problems in the first place. We've completely forgotten that this reality was designed. And because of that, we've also forgotten that it can be redesigned. So the book leaves us with this really powerful question. If our world is built on this dominator blueprint, what would it actually take to choose a different design? Now, it doesn't pretend to have all the easy answers, but what it does give us is a completely new way of seeing. It reminds us that since our world was designed, it can absolutely be redesigned. And that choice, well, that choice is ultimately ours.
This project is free and publicly accessible. If you'd like to support the time, tools, and research behind Crisis in Perception, you can become a supporter on Patreon.
For a longer, audio-based analysis of this topic, see the deep dive linked in the description.
If you enjoyed this kind of systems-level analysis, please like, subscribe, and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.